समस्त लोक सुखिनो भवन्तु।
समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु।
समस्त लोक सुखिनो भवन्तु।
समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु।
समस्त लोक सुखिनो भवन्तु।
समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु।
शांति शांति शांति।
तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
जय 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 गणनायका, जय जय विघ्न विनाशका, जय जय गणनायका, जय जय विघ्न विनाशका, जय 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 गणनायका, जय जय विघ्न विनाशका, शुभ मंगलदायका, विद्या बुद्धि प्रदायका, जय शुभ मंगलदायका, विद्या बुद्धि प्रदायका, जय शुभ मंगलदायका, विद्या बुद्धि प्रदायका, शंभो महादेवा, शंभो महादेवा, शिव शंभो महादेवा, शंभो महादेवा, शिव शंभो महादेवा, हर हर शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय शंभो महादेवा शिव शंभो महादेवा हर हराय भव भवाय शिव शिवाय नमः हराय भव भवाय शिव शिवाय शंभो महादेवा चित चोरा यशोदा के पार नवनीत चोर गोपाल चित चोरा यशोदा के पार नवनीत चोर चोरा यशोदा के बाल नवनीत चोर गोपाल चोरा यशोदा के बाल चोर गोपाल
कृष्ण हरे सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे
राम हरे साई कृष्ण हरे सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे
राम हरे साई कृष्ण हरे सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे
राम हरे साई कृष्ण हरे सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे
अल्लाह ईश्वर साई हरे
अल्लाह ईश्वर साई हरे
अल्लाह ईश्वर साई हरे
अल्लाह ईश्वर साई हरे
नानक येशु बुद्ध हरे
नानक येशु बुद्ध हरे
नानक येशु बुद्ध हरे
नानक येशु बुद्ध हरे
राष्ट्र महावीर साई हरे
राष्ट्र महावीर साई हरे
राष्ट्र महावीर साई हरे
राष्ट्र महावीर साई हरे
सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे
सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे
बाबा सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे
बाबा सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे
राम हरे साई कृष्ण हरे सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे
राम हरे साई कृष्ण हरे सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे
अल्लाह ईश्वर साई हरे
अल्लाह ईश्वर साई हरे
नानक येशु बुद्ध हरे
नानक येशु बुद्ध हरे
राष्ट्र महावीर साई हरे
राष्ट्र महावीर साई हरे
सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे
सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे
बाबा सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे
बाबा सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे
राम हरे साई कृष्ण 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 हरे
सर्वधर्म प्रिय साई हरे जटाधर गौरी शंकर गिरिजामन रमणा जटाधर गौरी शंकर गिरिजावन रमणा जय मृत्युंजय महादेव महेश्वर मंगल शुभ चरणा मृत्युंजय महादेव महेश्वर मंगल शुभ चरणा नंदी वाहना नागभूषणा नंदिवाहना नागभूषणा निरुपम गुण सदना निरुपम गुण सदना निरुपम गुण सदना निरुपम गुण सदना नटन मनोहर नीलकंठ साई नटन मनोहर नीलकंठ साई नटन मनोहर नीलकंठ साई नटन मनोहर नीलकंठ साई रजदल नयना रजदल नयना रजदल नयना रजदल नयना गंग जटाधर गौरी शंकर गिरिजामन रमणा जटाधर गौरी शंकर गिरिजामन रमणा जय मृत्युंजय महादेव महेश्वर मंगल शुभ चरणा मृत्युंजय महादेव महेश्वर मंगल शुभ चरणा नंदी वाहना नागभूषणा वाहना नागभूषणा निरुपम गुण सदना गुण सदना नटन मनोहर नीलकंठ साई नटन मनोहर नीलकंठ साई रजदल नयना रजदल नयना रजदल नयना रजदल नयना गंग जटाधर गौरी शंकर गिरिजामन रमणा मनमोहनानंदला 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 मनमोहना मधुसूदना वृंदावनानंदला मनमोहना मधुसूदना वृंदावनानंदला मनमोहना मधुसूदना वृंदावनानंदला मनमोहना मधुसूदना वृंदावनानंदला मनमोहनानंदला 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 वृंदावनानंदला 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 मनमोहना मधुसूदना वृंदावनानंदला मनमोहना मधुसूदना वृंदावनानंदला मनमोहना मधुसूदना वृंदावनानंदला मनमोहना मधुसूदना वृंदावनानंदला सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्मा
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 सत्यं ब्रह्मा
सत्यं ब्रह्मा
ज्ञानं ब्रह्मा
ज्ञानं ब्रह्मा
तं ब्रह्मा
तं ब्रह्मा
तं ब्रह्मा
तं ब्रह्मा
सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्मा
सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्मा
सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्मा
ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्मा
सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्मा
ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्मा
सत्यं ब्रह्मा ज्ञानं ब्रह्मा तं ब्रह्मा तं ब्रह्मा सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्मा
सत्यनारायण गोविन्द माधवा साई नारायण गोविन्द केशवा 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 हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा हरे रामा हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे सत्यनारायण गोविन्द माधवा साई नारायण गोविन्द केशवा सत्यनारायण गोविन्द माधवा साई नारायण गोविन्द केशवा सत्यनारायण गोविंद माधवा साई नारायण गोविंद केशवा सत्यनारायण गोविंद माधवा साई नारायण गोविंद केशवा हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा हरे रामा हरे रामा हरे हरे रामा हरे रामा हरे रामा हरे 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 रामा हरे रामा हरे रामा हरे 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 रामा हरे रामा हरे रामा हरे हरे सत्यनारायण गोविंद माधवा साई नारायण गोविंद केशवा शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः 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 शिवाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः शिवाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः शिव शिवाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय गोविंद कृष्ण जय गोपाल कृष्ण जय गोपाल बाल बाल राधा कृष्ण जय गोविंद कृष्ण जय गोपाल कृष्ण जय गोपाल बाल बाल राधा कृष्ण जय गोविंद कृष्ण जय गोपाल कृष्ण जय गोपाल बाल बाल राधा कृष्ण जय गोविंद कृष्ण जय गोपाल कृष्ण जय गोपाल बाल बाल राधा कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण 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 जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण 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 जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण 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 जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण 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 जय गोविंद कृष्ण जय गोपाल कृष्ण जय गोपाल बाल बाल राधा कृष्ण जय गोविंद कृष्ण जय गोपाल कृष्ण जय गोपाल बाल बाल राधा कृष्ण जय गोपिका माल हारी प्यारी माई मीर मन विहारी मदन मोहन मुरलीधारी कृष्ण जय गोपिका माल हारी प्यारी माई मीर मन विहारी कृष्ण जय गोपिका माल हारी प्यारी माई मीर मन विहारी मदन मोहन मुरली धारी कृष्ण जय रामा कृष्ण जय राधा कृष्ण जय बाला कृष्ण 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 जय कृष्ण जय रामा कृष्ण जय राधा कृष्ण जय बाला कृष्ण 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 जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण 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 जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण 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 जय गोविंद कृष्ण जय गोपाल कृष्ण जय गोपाल बाल बाल राधा कृष्ण जय गोविंद कृष्ण जय गोपाल कृष्ण जय गोपाल बाल बाल राधा कृष्ण जय गोपिका माल हारी प्यारी माई मीरा मन विहारी मदन मोहन मुरली धारी कृष्ण जय गोपिका माल हारी प्यारी माई मीरा मन विहारी मदन मोहन मुरली धारी कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय रामा कृष्ण जय राधा कृष्ण जय बाला कृष्ण 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 जय कृष्ण जय रामा कृष्ण जय राधा कृष्ण जय बाला कृष्ण 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 जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण 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 जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण जय कृष्ण 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 जय गोविंद कृष्ण जय गोपाल कृष्ण जय गोपाल बाल बाल राधा कृष्ण जय शांति शांति शांति
You are my Lord, you are my loving Lord. You are my Lord, you are my loving Lord.
I offer my most loving pranams at Bhagwan's lotus feet, and I pray to Swami that he gives us all the understanding that he alone is the one who speaks, he alone is the one who listens. Brothers and sisters and elders, Saram to you, warm greetings on this beautiful day. Merry Christmas to all of you. I was not supposed to be the scheduled speaker, but nevertheless, I thought I'll share some thoughts about what Swami has told about this beautiful festival, this faith of Christianity. Many years ago, when Swami was sitting in the interview room with a devotee, and this devotee was talking about this aspect of truth. Of course, a little bit of spiritual background will give us the awareness that truth is oneness. There is no difference between unity and truth. So Swami was talking to him about how everything is one and there is oneness everywhere. There is no duality. So this devotee was asking questions, and he was a very eager aspirant, was asking questions, and Swami is giving clarifications. At one point he said, Swami, all this is only theory. All this is only explanation. I need to experience it. There's a twinkle on in Swami's eyes. He said, experience kavala. Swami said, do you want an experience? He said, yes, Swami, otherwise it's all just intellectual, it's textual. How do you know that there is really oneness? Swami said, oh, so you want the experience of oneness. Swami said, come here. Swami drew him close and whispered in his ear something. And the next moment, this person could see nothing but Swami anywhere. He looked in front of him, Swami was there. He looked at himself, Swami was there. He looked at the objects around in the room, Swami was there. Everywhere he saw only Swami. He walked out of that interview room and every person he encountered, he saw Swami. And this state lasted for 3 full days, or maybe even more. He was in a completely different world. He was not able to feel the duality. Then slowly, after a few days, it started fading away. And then he went back to Swami and he said, Swami, why did you take it away? Because Swami told that you're not yet ready for it. You have to do your duties of this body that you've taken. The question is, what did Swami tell him in his ear, right? If we can know that, probably for the next 4-5 days, you don't have to come for satsang. What did Swami tell him in his ear? So hold on to your seats. Swami told, Tat Tvam Asi. Why nothing happened to us? You know, I've heard this statement so many times. I've spoken about it. It's a Mahavakya from the Samaveda, from the Chandogya Upanishad. We've heard Swami also tell this so many times. I've heard Swami standing at the discourse table and thundering, Tat Tvam Asi, that thou art. But why nothing is happening to us? The truth was told, the experience of truth was given, but why are we not able to replicate that whole happening again now when we hear the same truth again? Truth cannot be bartered. Truth cannot be bought. Truth cannot be acquired. Truth has to be grown into. You have to grow into truth. Otherwise, the same sentence, anybody telling to anybody else, should give us the same experience. Forget anybody else, at least listening to it from Swami's own mouth. Probably Swami didn't whisper into our ears, but nevertheless, it was communicated by Swami himself. Why aren't we going through the same experience? Because truth has to be grown into. The topic of the day, of course, is truth is beauty, but an honest confession, I'm not going to completely stick to that topic. But nevertheless, it's a very beautiful topic, and probably someday when I have the opportunity, I will take it as a complete topic. Talking of beauty, there is a wonderful story in the fables of Akbar and Birbal. Akbar gets a new grandchild, Emperor Akbar. And of course, he's a prince, so he's very beautiful. He's very attractive. And it's a baby. All babies are beautiful, aren't they? So Akbar is joyous. You know, he's not able to take his eyes off this grandchild that he has got. And all the time he's, oh, my grandson is so beautiful, my grandson is so beautiful. And he would every now and then ask his courtiers, isn't this child the most beautiful child in the entire kingdom? And who would take chances with the king? They would say, yes, of course. And probably Akbar was avoiding asking Birbal, because he knew Birbal is one person who would give a straight answer. But finally, after he finished all the courtiers, everybody had agreed that that child was the most beautiful child ever. Finally, he comes to Birbal and says, Birbal, everybody agrees, don't you agree too? And Birbal said, not quite, Your Highness. And Akbar got very wild. He said, how dare you say, see, this is the most beautiful child in the entire kingdom. Bring me one child which is more beautiful than this. He says, bring me one child that is more beautiful than this. Because there are many versions of the story, let's stick to one. Birbal goes out and he says, yes, my lord, I will get you the most beautiful beautiful child in the entire universe. So then the next day he comes with a child. The child is not the prettiest you could ever come across. Probably not the best of complexions, probably not the best of features, not the best of hair, nose and eyes. It's just an ordinary child. It's not the prettiest child, definitely. And Birbal brings this child and tells Jambana, this is the most beautiful child in the world. And the king is, how dare you even compare this child with my grandson? Look at my grandson. Look at his cheeks, look at his hair, look at how beautiful he is. How can you compare this child? And Birbal says, Lord, you will know. You will come to know. And the next day, a lady walks into the court. And she says, King, please help me. I have a complaint. I have come to you with a plea. So this lady happens to be the mother of this child that Birbal has brought to the court. So what does this mother say? She says, I've lost my child. Please help me find my child. And the king is saying, oh, how dare it happen in my kingdom? Who could take away your child? So then the king says, describe your child to me. How does your child look? And the mother says, my child is the most beautiful child in this entire kingdom. And then Birbal brings this kid. Akbar looks at the child, Akbar listens to what the mother says, and then it strikes him. The beauty that he saw in his grandson was not just objective. The beauty that he saw was coming out of a possessiveness. It is my grandson. There is a certain amount of beauty which comes when it is your own. When you say truth is beauty, not any truth is beauty. Truth that you have earned. Truth that you have achieved and made it yourself, that nobody can take it away from you. When that truth is achieved, that truth is beauty. These words, truth and beauty, are beautiful. They have two cousins. We often confuse ourselves with them. Truth has a cousin called fact. Beauty has a cousin called fashion or trend. And Swami gives a very beautiful one-sentence explanation of what is truth, which is very much applies to what is beauty too. Swami says, Trikala Badhyam Satyam. Trikala Badhyam Satyam. That which never changes, that alone can be truth. That which is contextually correct is fact. Suppose today I say, I have a headache. This statement is a fact because it may not be applicable for tomorrow. It might not be applicable for yesterday. So Swami says there is, under all of this, there is one thing which never changes, which is constant. And that is truth. And what is beauty? Beauty is that which does not change with time. Fashion changes. Trends change. It changes with places. The other day there was a documentary on the TV. They were showing how there is one particular country in the Middle East where fatness is beauty. If you're fat, you're beautiful. And children from a very young age are fed and fed and fed. Why? Because when you grow up, you should become beautiful. You should weigh at least 100 kgs. And then there is, you go right across to the West, size 0. Right? There is a country where you have big eyes. In India, if you have big eyes, it's beautiful. You go to Japan, you have smaller eyes, you're beautiful. That which is subjective, that which changes, cannot be true beauty. And that is why Swami says, truth alone can be beauty because truth alone does not change. And that truth cannot be gifted, even if it is God who has come here to gift it to you. I've quoted this many times. There is one beautiful writer who always says this: don't take my words for truth. He's a spiritual master. Whenever he gives a discourse, whenever he writes something, he says, I never speak the truth, I never write the truth. Because the truth cannot be spoken, the truth cannot be transferred. All that is said by me and the people who came before me and all the people who are going to come after me, the scriptures of every land and religion, are only pointers to the truth. Why is it? Because truth, you have to earn the deservedness to get truth. Because truth is powerful. A simple, it's not even truth. Let's say a very strong fact. For instance, something like the karma theory. Whether it's true or not, let's keep that debate aside. Let's say you've strongly imprinted this in your mind that anybody who is suffering because of a past act. You walk out into the road, you see a beggar, there's no compassion in your heart because he's suffering his own fate. Why is that attitude of indifference come? Because honestly, we are not prepared to receive that truth. We are not prepared to receive something even as complex as karma, then what do we talk about oneness? There is a certain sense of fashion in trying to reach out to the ultimate truth. We don't want anything lesser. You talk about goodness, no, we don't want that. You talk about being compassionate, being charitable, no, we don't want that. We want oneness because that's the ultimate truth, right? What's the best in the market? Am I ready for it? There is this beautiful quotation, very, very common. It says, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Right? Beauty lies in the eyes of a beholder. Why do they say that? And there is this other verse in other sentence in the Vedas which says, Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti. Ekam Sat, the truth is only one. It cannot be divided, it cannot be differentiated, it cannot be packaged, it cannot be transformed, it's one. Vipra Bahuda Vadanti, the learned speak of it in different ways. Why do they speak of it in different ways? Because as individuals, we are all different. As cultures, we are all different. As countries and as races, we are all a little different. The unity is there in the essence. Let's not forget that. But as human beings, as societies, we are all different. So time and again, a learned man comes and describes the same truth in a beautiful way. Swami would say that that's exactly what happened when every prophet came, because there was somebody who came and gave a description of truth, and they gave a pointer to that truth. Live your life this way. Do this. When you wake up in the morning, do this. When you're having a marriage, do this. When you're having a death, do this in the funeral. This was adding an explanation, a description to that truth. But Swami said, over a period of time, the purpose is lost. The essence is lost, and we are so enamored by the beauty which surrounds the truth. So every now and then, somebody is sent. A messenger is sent. Take this message and give it to mankind. 2 years ago in India, we finally said goodbye to the telegrams, right? For many, many decades, we had these telegrams. In the radio, we did an afternoon satsang only on experiences of Swami's devotees relating to telegram, because there are so many. Because Swami used to use telegrams so very frequently. So 2 years ago, when the telegram was finally ended, the last telegram was sent and the government said no more telegram service is available. So we had done that satsang. But in the olden days, when you have a lot to say, you write a letter. But when you have something urgent to communicate, you send a telegram, right? When you send a telegram, it means something is urgent, there is something critical happening. So there used to be this funny scene in the olden days, especially if you have somebody in the military or somebody very far off, like in Burma or in Sri Lanka where there's a dispute. The moment the telegram comes, there will be panic in the house. The grandmother will start crying and everybody will say, oh God, telegram has come, telegram. They won't even read the message. Telegram has come, that is enough. And everybody will be like, they will already start mourning. They won't even see what's the message. Because they believe that a telegram means then something serious. This is a typical example of responding to the messenger without reading the message, isn't it? The very idea that a messenger has come, you start reacting to that without reading the message. The whole idea is to read the message. This is the negative way of reacting to the messenger, but there is also a positive way of reacting to the messenger. Not positive in the sense of what we have to do, but a pleasant way of reacting to the messenger, which is equally wrong. There was once a Avaduta, a saint who used to walk from place to place. He used to travel from a town to town. You never be anywhere. He goes into this village. And he's surprised to see that this village is so backward. People are still living in mud huts. People are still, eating fruits and roots. They don't cook their food. They don't have any implements. The Iron Age has not come to their doorstep. They're really living like prehistoric people. So this Avaduta is surprised. And then he realizes that this tribe has not learnt the art of making fire. Right? Everything starts from there, right? Once you start making fire, you can cook your food. Then you can make implements, you can make tools. Your agriculture improves. So he discovered that here was this tribe which has not learned the art of making fire. So he taught them. He said, this is how you do. You take 2 stones, you strike them, you take dried leaves, you light a fire. And they were in awe. They said, my God, this guy has magic in his hands. He can create the fire we are so scared of. Right? When you don't know to make fire, you're in awe of fire. This is another aspect of spirituality and religion. We always tend to worship what we are scared of. And as we go on defining the things which we are scared of, we have lesser things to worship. So more science, more reason for atheism. Because you are able to explain so many things. Till then, the rainbow is something you have to worship. Because we don't know to explain it. The thunder is something which has to be worshipped because we don't know to explain it. This is the human mentality where we always worship authority. We always worship power. So this Avaduta taught this tribe how to make fire. Then he moved on. And a couple of towns later, he comes across another tribe. And he's surprised to see the same plight. He said they're also living the same way. So he again discovers that they've not learned the art of making fire. He teaches them. They're again grateful and in awe of this person. And he goes on. And this saint comes back after many, many, many decades. Many generations have passed. Because he's a sage. Time cannot weigh in his body. So he comes after many generations have passed. And he comes to the first village. And he's shocked and surprised to say that the village is not changed at all. The village is absolutely the same. And he finds that in the middle of the village there is a new temple. Right? Same, it's made the same way with clay and sand, with leaves for roof. So he walks in and he's surprised to see an image which is very similar to his own. So he looks at the people around and he says, this temple is meant for whom? And this generation was the new generation. They said, oh, he's a great master. He had the magic of fire in his hand. He could just take 2 stones, strike and create fire. He was a great man. This Avaduta slapped his forehead. He said, fools, you forgot the technique that I taught you and you're worshipping me. I came to teach you something. You've forgotten the art I taught you, but you're worshipping me. He moved on. He came to the next village. And as soon as he entered this village, he was welcomed by a huge statue again of himself. But this time, the statue was made in metal. And he went closer to that statue, and there was a plaque which was written. He said, this is an image of a great master. He came as a savior for us. He taught us to make fire. With that fire, we cooked. With the cooked food, we nourished ourselves. We became more intelligent. With the fire, we made our tools. With that fire, we made our metal. And to celebrate the great technique that he taught us, we have made an image of him in this metal, which is the pinnacle of what we learned from him. So what is the difference between the 2 tribes? There was one tribe which forgot the message and celebrated the messenger. There was another tribe which celebrated the messenger through the message. So when the Lord, every now and then, out of pity, or maybe out of disgust, he says, okay, take the messenger. How many of us celebrate the message? How many of us celebrate the messenger? Because we are celebrating the messenger today, but let us not forget the message. The message is there, the messenger is here, and how do we absorb the message? Before we come to what the message is, what do we do with the message? There's a concept which Swami speaks about very often. Of course, it is not in this context. I'm just trying to stretch it to give a new understanding. Swami says, when you learn something, when you listen something from the master, you go through a 3-step process. It's called Shravanam, Mananam, and Nididhyasanam. Shravanam is listening, Mananam is recapitulation, you roll it over in your mind, and Nididhyasanam is you allow it to sink in you. You allow it to become a part of you. This is the process which any message from the Lord is supposed to be taken as. When you sit in a discourse, when you listen to a discourse of Swami, Swami would say, when you're listening, don't think, just listen. Then after you've listened, think over it and ensure that it has gone in. Don't stop with that. Beautiful Chinnakatha which Swami would say that there was once a king to whose court a toy maker brought 3 dolls. And he asked the king, which is the best among these 3 dolls? So the king deputes his minister, the wise minister, to find out. What does the minister do? He takes a metal wire, right? And he puts it through the ear of the first doll, and it comes out through the other side. And the minister says, this is the terrible doll. This is the worst one. He takes the other one, he puts it in the ear, it comes out through the mouth. He said, this is better, but we have enough of these around. Listen and talk. Probably I'm one of them. And then he says, the third one, he takes the same wire, puts it into the ear, and it goes inside. And he says, this is the best among the dolls. So Swami says, Shravanam, listen. Mananam, recapitulate, keep thinking about it. And Nididhyasanam, allow it to become a part of you, allow it to sink in you. But let's look at this in a different way. When you come to a master, be it Jesus, be it Swami, be it anybody else, be it Shirdi Baba, be it Rama, Krishna, anybody, the message the master gives can be treated in 3 ways. Some part of every master's message is meant only for Shravanam. What I mean by that is, listen and just follow, don't think. Listen and just obey. Don't take it to the upper chamber at all. Every master comes with a part of the message which is meant to be like that. Not all his message. That's where we make the mistake. A certain percentage of his message is meant to be blindly followed. No questions are to be asked. Why is that so? We may or may not agree, but what really benefits an aspirant, a devotee, more than anything else, not by listening, not by practicing, what really benefits a devotee is surrender. When he is able to accept without any kind of reservations. And always a master's certain percentage of the message will be meant to express this surrender. There may or may not be any logic in it. It is meant to express surrender. Don't think about it. Don't ask your questions. Don't subject it to reasoning. Simple things. Swami would say, I think the 65th birthday or 68th birthday, Swami said, if you're a Sai devotee, you have to do 3 things. No drinking, no smoking, no eating non-vegetarian food. If you want, you can sit and reason out, but these are there is no debate about it. This is what Swami wants. There's no question about it. No drinking, no smoking, no eating non-vegetarian food. No, actually, Shirdi Baba, he used to cook. What is your problem? Swami is telling, this is what I want. No, Shirdi Baba, he used to have that chullam and smoke. Shirdi Baba is Shirdi Baba. Swami wants this. Will you be able to follow it without doing any mananam, only shravanam? Because every master will come with a certain part of the message which is meant to be like this. Guru Nanak said, I want my followers to grow a beard. Swami would respect that. There would be boys who were from the Sikh faith in the hostel. They were the only ones who were allowed to have a beard and long hair and a turban. Why? Swami said, your faith asks you to do this. Your master has asked you to do this. I honor that. In fact, I used to have a classmate who was a boy a Sikh boy. One Bandari he was. The first 6 months he got so much attention that we were also tempted to grow a beard. Because we thought that, oh my God, this person seems to be, standing out in the crowd. You have a whole block of clean-shaven faces and there is the bearded face. So we thought that's getting all the attention. Similarly, Swami would always tell us, have a clean-shaven face and have a short hair. No, actually, Prem Sai Baba has a beard and long hair. Swami has materialized that photo. There are some aspects of the message which are meant only to receive, hear and follow. No thinking about it. Every master has that. Every master, be it Jesus, be it Muhammad, be it Moses, be it Shirdi Baba, be it Swami, be it Ramana Maharshi, be it Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. And then comes Mananam. Many times in Radio Sai we'll receive mails saying that, my sister-in-law is behaving like this. And this is the situation at home. Has Swami said anything about it? Your problem is so specific. Where will you go and search in a discourse where Swami speaks about that exact problem? Our life is filled with situations like that. We will go through many, many situations where we don't have a ready-made message from Swami which will fit that situation. What does Swami say? For such situations, you take the message, you roll it over in your mind, and you will know what you're supposed to do for that moment. Mahatma Gandhi used to be asked, you keep swearing by the Bhagavad Gita, you keep telling Bhagavad Gita is my guidebook. In Bhagavad Gita, after about 18 chapters of explanation, what did Krishna tell to Arjuna? Take your Gandiva and go and fight. Kill, finish them. And Mahatma Gandhi is reading the same Bhagavad Gita and saying non-violence. He said, how did you pick up non-violence from the Bhagavad Gita? Mahatma Gandhi would say, he said, I may be wrong, I may be right. But my message of non-violence is not picked up from the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is taken inside and the message comes from within. When you take the message of the Lord and you ruminate over it, you will get what is meant to be done in that particular situation. That is the second way of treating the message. I might have mentioned this before. There is this, in the Ramayana, there is the Sundarakandam, right? That part where Lord Hanuman is going to Lanka and he's going in search of Sita. That particular canto of the Ramayana is called the Sundarakandam. As a couple of years back, there was a speaker who spoke in the Mandir. He said it's very weird. Valmiki chose to call this part of the Ramayana Sundarakandam. Why? Because that is the only part in the whole of Ramayana where there is no mention of Rama. Rama is not there in that part. The hero of the Ramayana doesn't find a mention in the Sundarakandam. The hero of the Sundarakandam is Hanuman. So why do you name that part of the Ramayana where Rama is not there but Hanuman is the hero? Why do you name that as the beautiful part? You say that is the most beautiful part. And he explained that there is one thing that Hanuman did which was a great message for all of us. When Hanuman goes into Lanka, he's lost. He doesn't know who's Sita. He's never seen her before. He doesn't know what to do when he's encountered with a problem. But it seems every moment he stops and thinks, if Rama were to be in this place, what he would have done? If Rama was to be encountered by the same problem, what decision he would have taken? It seems at every moment Hanuman was thinking, what will Rama do? What would have Rama asked me to do? What am I supposed to do which would be in line with what Rama would want me to do? And that is why in Sundarakandam, though Rama is not there, the entire Sundarakandam is filled with Rama. Because Hanuman made it like that. Because entire Sundarakandam, Hanuman made himself vanish and made Rama stand there. And that is why it's the most beautiful part of the Ramayana. And that is what will happen in Mananam, when every moment, my understanding is you could be wrong. Tomorrow when a situation comes, if you stop and think that what would Swami want me to do, you could end up doing the wrong thing. But I think the first and most important step to do is to ask. To sincerely ask. To selflessly seek. At the end of it, you can mess up the situation. Most of us do that. But still, do we have the sincerity to stop and ask what Swami would want me to do in this situation? How does Swami want me to react to this person? How does Swami want me to react to this opportunity? And that is the Mananam part. And a major part of Swami's message or any prophet's message is meant to be this, where you do Mananam. Take the message, think over it, take some discourse. That's why people get all kinds of important messages for their life from a discourse from which somebody else takes some of the message. Some devotees would say, Swami would come and say, Kurcho. There was an aspirant who came and he was waiting for Swami to tell. He was a real sadhu. He had given up everything. He came. He waited for months and months and months and Swami was not talking to him. So finally he lost his patience. He got up and he said, Swami, please speak to me. Swami said, Kurcho. And he sat down. He closed his eyes. He was in bliss. People around him asked, what happened? He said, Swami has given me a message. Swami said, Kurcho. Swami told, sit down. That's a message to my mind. Don't keep jumping. Don't be restless. Sit down. That's my message. That is when you take the message, which is probably not obvious, and you roll over it in your mind selflessly, without having your prejudices imposed on that message. That is the Mananam aspect. The second is Nididhyasanam. The third is Nididhyasanam. What is Nididhyasanam? For that, probably the question is, in what way was Jesus special? We say he's the messenger of God. I'm also a messenger of God. I've got a message here. I've picked up some messages from Swami's discourses. I am a messenger of God too. And tomorrow, if you are going to give a discourse, you're a messenger of God too. Rabindranath Tagore says, every child that is born brings a message from God, that God has still not lost hope with humanity. So Tagore says that every child is a messenger of God. And Swami would say that in his Christmas discourses. He said, Jesus claimed that he was a messenger of God. He was true, and so are all of you. So what is the difference between Jesus being the messenger of God and we being the messenger of God? Jesus said that I am the way. I am the gate. There is this book of John where I think there are 7 statements where Jesus describes himself. He says, I am this, I am that. When you do the Shravanam part of the message adoption, when you take the message and you blindly follow it, what does Jesus say? He says, I am the good shepherd. The sheep does not ask questions. It bleats and obeys, right? That's why we say obey like a sheep. He's like a sheep. Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. Follow me and I'll lead you to deliverance. And when you follow Shravanam, and that is why Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. And when you say about Mananam, Jesus says a very beautiful statement which is so cryptic. He says, I am the bread of life. Eat me. Excuse me? Jesus says, eat me. How else can you define this statement than the fact that Swami says, take my message and make it a part of you. Eat my message, let it nourish you. He says, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me will never go hungry. That's the statement in book of John. There is that, again, a very, very beautiful Chinnakatha. I'm sure I must have mentioned it before. Swami says there is this traveler who's taking a long journey. And in those days, no tiffin carriers and hot packs. They have this cloth in which they put the food, they tie it up, and they make a bundle of the food, and they carry it around, right? So this traveler is going around, he's having this bundle of food in his back. And Swami says, what happens? It's a burden, right? You have to carry food. Maybe it's 1 kg, 1.5 kgs. It's a burden. What a beautiful Chunakatha it is. Swami says, at one point he stops. There's a beautiful tree with a huge canopy. There's a nice shade. He sits under it. He opens the bundle, eats the lunch, sits for some time, and now he is energetic. He walks. The burden is gone, and now he is energized to take on his journey. And Swami says, the same is with my message. You keep carrying it here, it will become a burden. 400 discourses, 800 discourses, I can quote verbatim. It will be a burden here. Swami would say, you can tell, donkey, how lucky you are. You're carrying sandalwood on your back. The donkey carries a dam. It says, it's a burden for me. It could be sandalwood of the finest fragrance, but it's a burden for me. So Swami says, as long as you carry my message in your head, it's going to be a burden. Sit down, ingest it, eat it, then you will be rejuvenated. And that is what Jesus meant when he said, I am the bread of life. Ingest me, eat me. Don't just worship me. Make me a part of you. And why did Jesus say, I am the way, I am the gate? Nobody goes to heaven, to my master, without going through me. That's what Jesus says in the book of John. This is our level. We're all in the human level. And let's say that's the divine level. We're all aspiring for that. And Jesus comes right in between. He embodies a state which he said that this is the state you have to go through if you have to reach heaven. And what is that state? Jesus stands for when the message becomes part of the messenger. When a messenger comes with a message and he starts living the message himself, you cannot differentiate which is the message, which is his life, which is the message, which is the messenger. When the message and the messenger become one, and that is the state that Jesus Christ was. And that is the difference between me being a messenger here and Jesus Christ being the messenger, because he came with the message being part of him. And that's why Jesus said, you cannot go to my Father, you cannot go to heaven, you cannot reach truth if you do not go through me. Because this is an essential state everyone has to go to. Why? Going back to the same thing. Truth. You cannot be like Hanuman, I go straight and catch the sun. There is a procedure for everything. There is a deservedness for everything. And the deservedness to attain that truth is the state that Jesus embodied. Swami would tell in one of his discourses, I think it's the 1988 discourse, where Swami says, what are the qualities which Jesus embodied? Because that's what we need to know, right? When if we have to go through Jesus, we need to figure out what is that state that he embodied. And Swami says there are 3 qualities that Jesus embodied. And mind you, they are not divine qualities. Swami says they are not divine qualities, they are human qualities. These are qualities which make you a human being. And they are, Swami says, mamata, samata, and kshamata. Swami says these are the 3 values that Jesus embodied. Mamata, samata, and kshamata. Mamata is love. Love for the people around you, love for God, that is mamata. Samata is a state of equanimity. The ability to accept everything as it is without giving way to ups and downs in your emotions. That is samata. And finally, Swami says, kshamata. The ability to forbear, the ability to forgive, the ability to accept everybody as they are. Sounds nice, but how do we get there, right? All of Swami's messages are so brilliant. You just feel like standing there and clapping. That's all. But how do we get there? Swami says very simple, love all, serve all. Right? Mamata is all about love. And Swami says when you love all, you can get there. I don't know about all of you, that's the most difficult thing to do. Why is it? Because some people are more lovable than others. Putting in other words, some people are more irritating than others. Right? Some people really get onto your nerves. How do you love them? Some people irritate, some people even harm. How do you love them? Some people, their existence or non-existence does not matter to us. How do you love them? But the most difficult is the troublesome ones. How do you love them? Swami would often speak of these 4 qualities. We all know the human values of Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, Ahimsa. In some other places, in some Vahinis, Swami speaks of 4 other human values. Swami says that these also are human values, and if one were to follow these 4 values, you lead a life of a perfect human being, which Swami said Jesus embodied. Because Jesus embodied, Swami says, perfect humanness, where the line between humanity and divinity vanishes. Swami said that is the perfect humanness. And what are those 4 human values? Swami says they are mudita, karuna, upeksha, and maitri. And these are 4 qualities. People who have studied Buddhism will know that these 4 qualities are mentioned even in Buddhism. What are these 4 qualities? Karuna, mudita, upeksha, and maitri. We come across many people in life, right? So many types of people. There are some people who are in a state which is lesser than our own. Some people are poorer than us, some people are more unfortunate than us, some who are disabled, some who are having a problem. Sometimes we think our problem is big, we come across somebody who has a bigger problem. There are times when you come across people who are lower in a state, emotional, financial, or anyway, social. How does your love express itself? Swami says it should express itself as karuna, as compassion. Have compassion for them. You should have love, no indifference there. You should have compassion. Swami says you should have karuna. And as we go through these 4, you will see how perfectly these were exhibited by Jesus Christ. Swami says the first one is karuna towards those who are lower in a status than you. In this, it's a very subjective thing. And in fact, how our misguided understandings come in the way of us expressing compassion. Right? There was once we were talking to a devotee. Swami is performing the Lingodbhavam. Right? We all have seen how painful a sight it is. Swami is struggling, and that year Swami was struggling even more because it was a bigger lingam. And right in front, there was one person who was sitting. He was a pujari from Venkatagiri, right? The royal household of Venkatagiri. This person was from there. And this person had a very grand opportunity. When Swami would have his bath, he would stand outside and chant the Arunam. Like how they used to do when Abhishekam for the lingam is done, they chant the Arunam. So when Swami would have bath, this person would stand outside the bathroom and chant Arunam. Swami had given him that opportunity. That much grace he had received. So this person is he's sitting right in front of Swami. And Swami is struggling to take that lingam out. And the bhajans are going on. And when Swami is struggling, some would say the bhajan should be faster. And this person is sitting right in front. So much glee on his face. So happy. Because what? We were watching Lingodbhavam. There's a wide smile on his face. He's clapping and laughing. And Swami looked at him from the corner of his eyes. Right? And apparently it seems Raja Reddy Garu was sitting there. He noticed this scene. The way this person was reacting. The way Swami looked at him. So he whispered to the person next to him, "Mark my words, tomorrow this person is getting packed off." And the next day, Lingodbhavam was over. Swami calls this devotee and Swami says, "What happened? Yesterday, suddenly you looked more happier than usual." Yesterday when Lingodbhavam was going on, you're appearing to be more happy than usual. He said, "Swami, Lingodbhavam, sight that even the gods aspire for. I was so thrilled, I was happy. And Swami asked, but didn't you see that I was suffering? Swami said, didn't you see that there was pain on my face? He said, but Swami, you are God. Right? You are God. What's suffering for you? Then Swami said, when I say that you are also God, you don't believe? He said, yes, Swami, that is also truth only. So then why when day before yesterday, when your daughter was delivering her baby, when she was crying and there was some complication in the pregnancy, why were you sitting outside the labor ward and crying? This is what when I said we are sometimes not prepared for the truth. Don't use it. And he said, when someone is exhibiting pain in front of you, if you don't have compassion, if you bring your reasoning and if you don't have compassion, then you're not ready to go forward. He said, you don't deserve to be in my presence, and rightfully so, he was packed off. That is why when you come across people who are lower than you in your life, who are suffering, who are in need of your solace, let your love express itself as karuna. The next one, sometimes even karuna is easy, but mudita is actually even more difficult. What is it? Sometimes you come across people who are well off than you, who are better off than you, right? That neighbor has a BMW car, right? One of the boys used to tell, if you're so fond of the BMW car, why aren't you happy seeing the BMW car there? Just one wall that side. It becomes a cause of more pain. No, me not having a BMW car is less painful than my neighbor having the BMW car. Swami says, when you come across people who are doing better than you in life, can your love express itself as mudita? Genuine happiness. I am happy for you. Hey, I'm very good in life, man. I have a very good job. I'm very well settled. Can we genuinely feel happy for that person? Oh, I'm really happy for you. Really happy for you. God bless you. May you always be happy. Can we feel a genuine sense of happiness when we see somebody else happy? Swami would say very, very beautifully, he would say, there is this boy who goes, exam results are out, okay, and there's a big notice board with all the numbers. He's sitting there and he's seeing the results there, and he's laughing, he's so happy. Oh, wow, amazing. So his friend comes by, and he looks at the list, and he tells this boy who's so happy, but your name is not there. You seem to have failed. Right? The boy who's so happy, he seems to have failed. And this boy says, so what? So many have passed. I'm happy for all of them. Swami would tell it funnily, but Swami would say that, can you really be like that? Can you really be like that when you really are doing bad? Can you look around and say, but Swami, your grace is there on so many people. I'm so happy. And Swami said, imagine if you just master this one art of being happy with someone else's happiness, can you ever be sad? If you master this one art of being genuinely happy, looking at someone else being happy, can you ever be despondent for a moment? Swami said, let your love express as mudita. That's why in that bhajan Swami sings, Prem mudita manasya ho. It should flow from inside. Don't just say Ram, Ram, Ram. Swami says, Prema mudita, like the love bursts out from your heart. Swami says, can you have that kind of happiness when you see somebody else doing well in life? Then comes something which, thank God, Swami told, upeksha, right? The difficult ones. There are some people who trouble us, some people who can be comfortably branded as bad company. What do you do with them? Swami says, a detached indifference. Don't hate them. Don't curse them. Don't say that, may one day you also face what I am facing because of you. Can you have a sense of indifference? Say, all right, that's your path. One day you will also come through. You'll also come by. Can you have that feeling towards somebody who's irritating, who's troublesome, who's evil, who's troubling you? As I said, as we speak about each of this, can't we see that in Jesus' life? And that's why Swami said he embodied perfect humaneness. This quality of upeksha is very, very essential. Why? Because that is what adds to the balance of our life. If we are going to be troubled by every other thing, if you're going to be troubled by every painful person or even every pain a person goes through, somebody else is inflicting some pain on somebody else, there is a certain amount of indifference because a certain amount of sanity has to be maintained in our mind. So this upeksha is a very, very important thing. And then finally comes Maitri. You will definitely come across people who are equal to you in life. Right? There will be some people who are on the same level. They're not richer than you. They're not poorer than you. They don't need your compassion. They don't need your indifference. Swami says, those who are equal to you, make friends with them. Have the feeling of friendship with them. So Swami would very often say, friendship is always had with equals. Probably if we read between the lines, doesn't Swami say God is your best friend? So probably a hint Swami throws there. Swami says you have friendship only with your equals. And then Swami says God is your friend. Giving a silent hint that you and God are equals. But before we reach that state, when you come across people who are equal to you, you have friendship with them. Why are these 4 qualities so important? The problem with all of us is, as I see it in myself, when Swami says love all, serve all, I don't know, we start thinking from Swami's point of view. We want to love all and serve all like Swami. But the fact is, we have to practice love all, serve all from my state of mind. I have to practice this from my mind which is filled with differences. I cannot practice this the way Jesus practiced till I reach that state. That is why these 4 qualities depends on how you look at people. See, for me, money might not be a scale in which I see whether somebody is lesser fortunate or more fortunate. Let's say that for me, the greatest wealth is Swami coming and talking to me. The same 4 categories can be described based on that parameter, isn't it? Somebody who gets spoken more to by Swami, somebody who has never come to Swami, or somebody who keeps poking you probably, saying that, hey, Swami never spoke to you. Or somebody who is aspiring for Swami's grace just like how you are aspiring. So whatever be your yardstick, whatever be your approach, when you can differentiate people who come across your life in these 4 categories, these 4 values are so very important. They give you the right way to deal with people in life. And that's exactly what he embodied, Jesus Christ embodied. And when Swami says mamata, samata and kshamata, you can live those 3 values through these 4: karuna, mudita, upeksha and maitri. And that is precisely what we were supposed to learn from Jesus Christ. When Swami was on the wheelchair and Swami was really exhibiting a lot of pain, right? Swami was not able to walk, and you could see the pain on Swami's face with every step that he took. It gave us a lot of pain. Once we were talking to an old student, and we were asking him what is his take on why Swami is doing this. And he had this very beautiful thing to say. He said, Jesus Christ lived for 30 odd years, right? 35, 32, I don't know. I'm not so sure. He lived for 30 odd years and he taught for 30 odd years probably. And he gave so many important messages. But today, when we think of Jesus Christ, we think of the cross. Today, when we picture Jesus Christ, we picture him crucified. Why? Because when you see that, it's such a powerful image. Because there is something which he did, which probably we are all struggling to do. He embodied a certain quality which was so profound, we're all, struggling all our life to do. So the starting point, as Jesus would beautifully say, it's one of the most beautiful and practical lessons that Jesus would say. He would say, start with, do unto others what you want others to do unto you. That's the least. How can you treat somebody the way you don't want to be treated. There was this moral science teacher of mine who used to always keep telling. She used to tell that, look, if you call that boy names, which means you don't mind being called that same name. So that really put reins on our tongues. Because she said, you will only treat a person the way you don't mind being treated. So the first sign of goodness, the first way to approach goodness is, can I at least refrain from those things which I don't want others to do to me? Starting point, mamata. That much goodness. And then he says, after mastering that, no, don't already jump. After mastering that, are you sure that you have that much goodness? Then take it one step further. What does he say? He says, what is so great you loving those people who love you? I mean, even a criminal, even a dacoit, even a murderer will love those who love him. Right? Even an animal loves the man who loves the animal. What credit is it to you if you are able to love those who love you? You are truly great if you are able to love those, even those who hate you. So after having mastered this, do unto others what you want others to do unto you, are you able to go from mamata to shamata? And how can you go to that state? It's through the state of equanimity. And that equanimity is best received by surrender. When you say that nothing comes to me unsanctioned by my Lord. He is the customs officer. It cannot come into your house, it cannot come into your life if he does not sanction it. And what he has sanctioned becomes prasadam for me. I have no resentment. And that's exactly what happened. Jesus was on the cross. For a moment he said, what happened? I mean, I didn't deserve this. I didn't do anything to deserve this. And the very next moment, Lord, but if this is your will, thy will be done. The very next moment, he said, if this is what you will for me, why am I resenting it? And the moment that attitude comes, nothing is liked more than the other. Nothing is hated more than the other. And we are celebrating the life of this messenger who lived that message. But we celebrate the messenger nevertheless. But let us not, that is the beauty of any celebration in Swami's presence. I'll conclude in a few minutes. Any celebration in Swami's message, his presence. For instance, this beautiful festival of Christmas. The hall is so beautifully decorated. You look around, your sense of sight is gratified. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm getting to see so much beauty. The hall is so beautiful. The lights are so beautiful. The flowers are so beautiful. And then you go sit in the hall. There is beautiful music. There's such beautiful music. Your sense of hearing is gratified. And then, of course, there is good food. There's no question about that. But Swami says that with all this, Swami would give his message. Swami did not say, today is Jesus Christ's birthday. From morning to evening, I'm going to tell you only about his message. No. He said, it's a complete celebration. You give pleasure to your eyes, you give pleasure to your ears and your other senses, but don't forget the message. Don't forget to give importance to the message. And no other place I feel in where the truth will be undivided, because the truth can never be divided. The truth can only be one. The very fact that somebody says is a very beautiful email forward which always comes around. It says, did you know Jesus was not a Christian? Did you know Muhammad was not a Muslim? People who came after that became Christians and Muslims. So what are we fighting about? Jesus was a Jew. Then what are we fighting about? This morning when I was sitting in the Bhajan hall, early morning carols were going on. Probably people who were sitting outside wouldn't have known. The everyday puja which happens inside the Bhajan hall was continuing to happen. So it was such a beautiful sight that whenever the carol stopped, I could hear the Rudram here. So one side Rudrabhishekam is going on, Rudram is being chanted, and one side carols. They're singing the praise of Jesus, the Rudrabhishekam going on here. And this can happen only in a place where people are consciously going back to the truth. The truth is not divisive. Spoken so much about the message, so much about the messenger. I think we should talk a little about the one who sent the message, right? Otherwise, they would not be complete. We spoke so much about Jesus. He definitely is a person worth celebrating. But I believe Swami is the one who sent the message. And we are living in the presence of the Master who sent the message. I came across this incident in a book. A very beautiful incident. We'll conclude with this. There was this Catholic priest in Australia. This person, as a young boy, he had a very, very different childhood. He was born hearing impaired. He was born deaf. Okay? But this person, as he was growing old, he realized that he could not hear the sounds around. He could not hear people speaking to him. But he could hear a voice from within. And he was surprised. This voice from within was heard, but no sounds from outside. And as he grew into the Christian faith, he realized that he was listening to actually the God's voice within. He was blessed with that grace right from his childhood. And he would say that he had many experiences in life which made it absolutely clear to him that it's the voice of God. Right? He would say that every day after his day's school and all that, in his prayer before going to bed, he would say, God, I did all this, I've done all these things. And God would say, good boy, I love you. It would be he would hear that voice from within. And he would say that there would be days when he's not in the best of his behavior. He's been up to some mischief. So those days, he would silently crawl into the bed without the prayer. Because the voice is going to tell something from inside. Okay? And then there will be a prompting. What about the prayer? You've not done the prayer. So this boy would say, oh God, today I've been very mischievous. Today I've been very naughty. I don't think God loves me. And the voice from within would say, no, I love you. Then again he would say, no, I've not been good today. I've been very mischievous. It can't be. God can't love me. The voice will become louder. No, I love you. He would say the third time when he said that, the voice was so loud he fell off the bed. It was shouting from inside, no, I love you. And he fell off the bed. So he had many experiences like this where it was very clear to him that it was the voice of God. And he grew up into a young man, and because he had this grace, he was drawn towards becoming a priest. So he studied for it. He became a priest. And he said that because he would hear this voice, I think in theology, you're supposed to take 2 topics and do a major on that. So one of the topics was listening to the voice within. And he found out that what was spoken of in theology, he had already known because of his experience. How to ensure that it's the voice of the Lord within and not the voice of the mind. So he had learnt all those techniques. And one day, he was helping a quadriplegic woman get into her apartment, and he was wheeling her inside and making her comfortable in a bed. So this lady was very grateful. She said, I want to give you a gift. I want to give you something. So she pointed to a table where there was a stack of books. And she said, can you take the book over there? And the book right on top was the autobiography of a yogi, right? That was a book on top. So he said, you can take this book, the autobiography of a yogi. So he looked at it and he picked up the book. The book under it was The Man of Miracles. Okay. Now the other subject in theology which was very interesting to him was the word miracles. Why? Because he had failed the paper on miracles. So he always thought miracles is something beyond me. So he saw this title, Man of Miracles. Oh, sounds interesting. So he looked at that lady and he said, can I take this book instead? She said, yeah, sure, take it. So he takes this book, goes back home, and he casually sits on his easy chair and starts reading. After a few minutes, he's shocked what he's reading. He reads cover to cover without putting down the book. I mean, he's saying, what is this? What is this phenomenon I'm reading about? And the whole day he's thinking about it. Who is this person? I mean, can this really be true? No, he's doing that mananam. He's going on thinking, what is this? What is this? Who is this person? Who is this Sathya Sai Baba? Who is this? So when he's sitting on his chair and casually asking, thinking to himself, he's just ruminating. And suddenly he just thinks, could this be the one who sent Jesus to us? He just out of the blue, he just pops up in his mind. Could this be the one who sent Jesus to us? And the all familiar voice from within says, it is. He was shocked. He said he was not asking. He was just thinking. And he said that usually when you hear the voice within, you're supposed to ask thrice. He again says, is this the one who sent Jesus to us? The voice said more firmly, it is, it is, it is. Should I tell you how fortunate we all are? The Lord who over and over again, time and again, keeps sending his messenger, and he found that we're all panicking like the telegram comes, Oh, another messenger, another festival, another holiday, another shopping season. And God says, let me go myself. How fortunate we all are. And to be celebrating Jesus in the presence of Swami. Let's all of us thank Swami from the bottom of our heart. I thank you all for your very patient listening. I offer this talk at Swami's lotus feet.
The hall with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our fine apparel, fa la 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 la. Show the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Blazing you before us, fa la 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, fa la 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 la. Follow me in merry measure, fa la 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 la. While I tell of Yuletide treasure, fa la 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 la. Had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you would even say no. All of the other reindeer used to love and call him name. They never let poor Rudolph join any reindeer game. And one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you back my sleigh tonight? On the reindeer loudly, and they shouted out with me, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, checking it twice, gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming. When you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. You better watch out, you better not cry, you better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Santa Claus is coming to town. जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्त जना संरक्षक भक्ति महेश्वरा ओम जय जगदीश हरे शशि वदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आवद्बान्धवा ओम जय जगदीश हरे मातापिता गुरुदैवं पर्यन्तयुनीवे स्वामी पर्यन्तयुनीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथ नागेन्द्राश्रयणा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे साई महादेवा सत्य साई महादेवा मंगल आरती अंदुको मंगल आरती अंदुको मंदर गिरिधारी ओम जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण सत्य नारायण नारायण ओम जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ओम सत्य नारायण 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 ओम सत्य नारायण नारायण सत्य नारायण नारायण जय सद्गुरुदेवा शांति 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 समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय
ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात् ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात् ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वप्रचोदयात् ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे सत्य सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ साईश्वराय विद्महे 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 सत्यदेवाय धीमहि तन्नः सर्वः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ